everyone, I'm Chris Mckellar, passionate real food advocate in West Michigan lifer, and I'm really honored to be here tonight. It's important I explain the why behind the fish ladder because it's not just a geeky science experiment. We have a pretty serious crisis on our hands. Not only are people hurting economically because of unemployment and higher food costs, but we've really made a mess of food. The industrialization and subsidization of the food industry and unsustainable farming practices are complicit in the rapid deterioration of the health of people and the environment at epidemic levels. Simply put, all the nasty things that we've been imposing on the food system disrupt the beautiful balance that already exists in nature. So everything from high-density animal feedlots to pesticides to genetically modified crops and so on. The grave lack of awareness and education about the food on our collective plate is reflected by the health of the people. And to me, that's signaling that we're desperate for truth and for change. So for example, this is the Grand River emptying into Lake Michigan. So just 13% of Lake Michigan's watershed, but yet the largest source of pollution. So you notice the brown and the blue. The list over here is toxins and carcinogens found in Lake Michigan. Now that stuff accumulates in fish due to the number of steps in their food chain. So sadly, I don't want to eat that fish, and neither should you. So in summary, garbage in equals garbage out. We are what we eat, right? I think we've lost respect for food in lieu of convenience, and then I think we've lost respect for ourselves at the expense of our health. So enter my idea for the fish ladder. The name is a tip of the hat to the landmark, but more importantly, a year-round organically raised fish and produce market in Grand Rapids, farm to consumer, for profit, but not merely a means of selling product, also providing education and training to the community. An emerging but proven technology called aquaponics will be employed, by which the fish and plants live symbiotically, modeled after nature's own design. So the fish fertilize the plants, and then the plants filter the water. It makes sense because it's sustainable and it doesn't require chemicals to keep that system in balance. The plant's roots are in proximity to such rich nutrients that they grow robustly and faster than in soil. So using low-tech, highly accessible, and affordable components for the system, along with simple biologically based principles, we can economically grow healthy protein and veggies right here in Grand Rapids without the fear of contamination. So the species of fish will begin with tilapia and then may include perch, barramundi, trout, bass, bluegill, even freshwater prawn and mussels. So we'll feed them sensibly according to their natural diet and try to grow as much of their food on site as possible. Varieties of plants grown will include lettuces, vegetables, herbs, microgreens, and even some fruit like strawberries. The beauty of this model is that the farming location is really flexible. Production is reasonably forgiving and it's scalable, so we could start small. We could easily operate out of a warehouse in urban Grand Rapids, which I think would be really cool. So we'll generate revenue by selling the harvested fish and produce directly to consumers and restaurants via the on-site retail store and at farmers markets. And we'll supplement that revenue with classes, tours, and hosted events. I want to educate people, and I want those people to educate others. So I think that the teach a man to fish adage sums this up beautifully. I want to inspire others to make changes to better themselves and their families. And I want to establish an outreach program to provide ongoing education and workshops to the community. So one focus could be to help others realize how growing their own food would provide a wealth of benefits beyond just affordability and nutrition. Self-sufficiency, confidence, and empowerment are just the tip of the iceberg, I think. So this model of aquaponics is replicable, it's low cost, and it doesn't require a lot of space. It could have a lot of impact on people in developing nations and in food deserts worldwide. So receiving the grant money would affirm that the fish ladder is noble and it's worth pursuing. Practically and tangibly, the grant would contribute to initial best practice research, location sourcing, legal and licensing, as well as the materials to build that first system. Furthermore, the grant will enable me to develop a new channel to distribute these important products, the organically and ethically raised local fish and produce, and provide education for the long-term health and welfare of our beloved community in West Michigan. So thank you so much for inviting me tonight. I really appreciate it.